Pat McAfee had his night out last night in Pittsburgh. Monster event. Kudos to McAfee and his team. Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Jelly Roll, Ben Roethlisberger. So many people there, and kudos to McAfee on an awesome night. It did not include Aaron Rodgers.
Star-studded list, but not the star we were expecting.
And to be fair and to credit Pat McAfee, he never once said that Aaron Rodgers would be there, never alluded to Aaron Rodgers being there, never promoted Aaron Rodgers being there. It was the internet and fans that rightfully so are saying, well, what is this man waiting for? Oh, maybe the show that he's been a part of, having a big event in the city he may be playing in, maybe that's the obvious move. Yeah, no. No. I don't know what we're waiting for. What do we think he's waiting for? Because there was some Steelers drama yesterday, but before we get to what actually happened, let's discuss what didn't happen. We're now past that date. The April 9th date was a date we were looking at. Mm-hmm. What is he waiting for?
Clarity.
On?
The potential landing spots for him. First of all, he wants to make sure that he puts himself in the best position to have success. And I think we could all admit of the teams that have quarterback questions, the Minnesota Vikings probably feel like the best situation to step into in order to have success in 2025. But before he goes down another avenue, he wants to make sure that door is fully closed, which it doesn't sound like it is currently. So there's the matter of that. But then also, when you consider the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's still the looming possibility that Pittsburgh could draft a quarterback in the first round, right? There has been speculation about Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is supposed to be in Pittsburgh today visiting with the team. If you're Aaron Rodgers, do you want to sign up for a situation where you have a quarterback that could be as popular, if not more popular, with the fan base? Somebody that the fans would be clamoring to see if the team struggles early on? Do you want to have to deal with the looming stardom of Shedeur Sanders? I don't know if you do. Not at this stage of the game. So while other people might think that Shedeur Sanders' visit could be something that speeds up the Aaron Rodgers clock in terms of him signing in Pittsburgh, I see it the other way. This could be something that Aaron Rodgers is waiting to see how it plays out in terms of whether or not Shedeur actually ends up in Pittsburgh. And you're not going to know that until after the draft. So I think...
And he is visiting today.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that in a roundabout way, Aaron Rodgers, the Shedeur Sanders-Aaron Rodgers link is what could be holding up Aaron Rodgers from potentially signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All that is fair. And you were on this early when you said it's going to be April. We're not going to know anything at least till April. Mm-hmm. And I didn't subscribe to that because of where Aaron Rodgers is in his career. You won 5 games last season with the New York Jets. You were injured the entire season prior. You have 1 year, maybe 2 left in your football career. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you want to pick your landing spot, and especially a good one, with a Hall of Fame coach, a stable organization, a team that is going to, more likely than not, have a winning record and at least go to the playoffs? If you truly believe in your skill set and think that you can plug in there and elevate that team, why wouldn't you go there? So I thought that there was no way that it was going to go to April. And now I'm starting to wonder if he wants to be there at all. What could you possibly be waiting for? If you're waiting until the draft, that's fine. This is your right to take as much time as you need to make a very consequential decision about your football future. But if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's no way I feel comfortable going into the draft without pen to paper with him and knowing that he is going to be there. I need those assurances because this is someone who does have a bit of an unpredictability factor to him. So he can say all he wants. The meeting was great. We're remaining engaged on these talks. All signs are pointing to him being there. I cannot bank on that if I'm Pittsburgh.
What can they bank on then at the quarterback position?
I would be doing everything I could to make sure that I have my quarterback of the future in the draft if I'm Pittsburgh. Because you cannot guarantee that Aaron Rodgers is not going to change his mind, or that based on the way the dominoes fall in the draft, that there isn't another situation that pops up that he believes to be more desirable.
But here's the problem with that approach, though. If you're Pittsburgh, you don't have full control of whether or not you get Shedeur Sanders. And it feels like you do have a little bit more say in terms of what happens with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that this is the end-all, be-all. There's no reporting on this. Obviously, it's all speculation, but I find it hard to believe that if Aaron Rodgers got assurances from the Pittsburgh Steelers that not only are they not going to draft a quarterback with their first-round pick, but they're actually going to draft a player that can help him on the offensive side of the ball, I think it creates a more desirable place for Aaron Rodgers to want to be. So I don't know, man. Pittsburgh has never felt like the organization that's going to be bullied or backed into a corner, but they put themselves in this spot waiting on Aaron Rodgers, and now I don't know what the path for that organization is out of that corner.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple the more I think about this.
What's up?
If you're a team that's waiting for a quarterback, that's waiting for you as a team to not draft a first-round quarterback, that quarterback ain't that good anymore. In other words, if Kirk Cousins is waiting to pick his team to get traded to based on confirming the Browns didn't take a first-rounder, I'm good, or Steelers are waiting for Rodgers, who's waiting for them to say they didn't take Shedeur, I'm good, that guy ain't good enough. That's the reality. Patrick Mahomes could get traded today to the Tennessee Titans. You think he's worried about them taking Cam Ward?
No.
They can take Cam Ward and sign him to a 100-year deal. He's going to still start.
I would agree with you, except that Aaron Rodgers was thought to be waiting on the Minnesota Vikings, and they have a top 10 pick that they took as a quarterback.
Yes, but he's waiting on them, seemingly, to make sure that the top 10 pick they took a quarterback is not ready to play. So he would go there with the confirmation that he's not ready to play, not with the confirmation that he is ready to play. That's what the guesstimation is. Now, the real piece of information that we're going to read into is TJ Watt posts on his Instagram yesterday a picture of himself in uniform with the deuces up, like peace out. Now, we're interpreting it that way. TJ Watt has never won a playoff game in Pittsburgh. TJ Watt is sitting there as a future Hall of Fame caliber player, having to deal every offseason with who his team's quarterback is. Should we be reading into the peace sign up for TJ Watt yesterday on Instagram?
You think he's chucking the deuces at Aaron Rodgers, or is he chucking the deuces at Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
Well, you're the one that brought it up.
Probably neither, and probably more so, I need you guys to think that I'm going out, I'm leaving, I want out, because I need a new contract.
This is my play.
This is my play. I'm going to now let you think something's going on, because I see that's what everyone else does to get a contract.
But I also see that $40 million a year that Myles Garrett is getting.
There you go. So if you think I want out, all of a sudden I get to 40. Just saying. Coverage begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. CeCe was ready to ban or boycott this segment. Oh, he's standing over him.
Boycott remains.
Kevin Clark, ESPN Radio host. This is Football Podcast. Wow. Goes to shake the hand.
Hey, there we go.
Wow.
I was a little intimidated, Kevin. I don't know how you just felt.
Whew. All right. I'm feeling good about that.
You nervous?
What an emotional roller coaster. It went from us really gassing you up, saying how
Yeah.
cool you were, to Canty intimidating.
Canty wasn't here at the beginning of this segment. I thought maybe the boycott of the ban was continuing, and then he walked in at the last second. That was I feel good. I feel validated now.
Well, you know what I realized in that moment? It's really not about you. It's about how Evan Cohen feels about
right.
you versus how he feels about us.
Correct.
Well,
It's clear that he would prefer to do the show with you.
How can I tank that? I can slander Pat Riley, for
Yes.
instance? Yeah, I could say
No.
culture isn't real.
Say something really
I'm
bad
sorry?
about Michael Jordan.
Oh,
That will
okay.
upset him.
Yeah,
You know, he upset me today, though, I will say.
Kevin?
Yeah, because he came in this morning and I said, we're good to go for tomorrow, right? He goes, what's tomorrow?
Yeah, what's tomorrow?
I said, I'm filling in on First Take with you. He goes, oh. I said,
Yeah.
oh, that's the only reaction? He goes, I actually had it in my contract where I refused to work with you anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know, Kevin, when you come in studio, I feel a lot like Anthony Davis when Luka Doncic comes back to Dallas.
You know what's funny?
That's what it feels like.
Do you know what's funny about
it's
that?
clear who Evan really wants to be on his team. That's how I feel.
I was feeling a little bit like the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. Like, Evan is Aaron Rodgers, and he's waiting for a better option. CeCe and I are Pittsburgh, and he's waiting for a better option in Kevin Clark.
To make you feel better, I do have to go do TV in 40 minutes, so I
okay.
can't. Yeah, I'm
Can't hang out that long?
I'm like Rodgers. I
Good
just
to know.
can't. Yeah.
By the way, Kevin also was wearing a shade of green jacket because he's a big golf guy. He does ESPN bet stuff with golf.
Yes.
And that's not the green jacket of the Masters. The green you're wearing is like...
More hunter
What
green.
did you want me to do? I can't wear like a lime green.
I think you should have. I think you should have gone all in and shown up on Get Up today just wearing the actual green jacket.
It's too on the
I'm not-
nose, though. Come on now.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
just
this
doing
green.
a shade of your. Thank you.
Hunter.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Hunter
Very
Green.
clean.
Very cool.
Hunter Green. Thank you.
All right, let's talk some
See,
foot-
now the tides have turned. Now she likes me more than you.
That's right. I think it's cool.
You had a million interviews from the owners' meetings at the Breakers last week, and you were all over the place to your credit. What piece of information stood out the most from you?